um, when did Uncle Houston come out then? And Aunt Jewel?
Houston came out, he came before we did. About, he came in 44, he's probably about 42 or 3 he came out.
Were all the brothers married when they came out except you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when we all lived over in this little one-room place, or actually two-room, and there were other cabins or whatever, was that considered a government camp of
No.
any sort?
No, that
Or a
was,
labor camp?
that was
or-
right over here on 3rd Street, behind the Gray's grocery store.
The government camp?
No,
No,
that's,
where
the
we
camp,
live.
it was a camp, but it wasn't the government, see, the government camp's over across the railroad tracks.
Okay. So where we lived was never a labor camp or a government camp of any kind?
No.
Okay,
Now, I think you did have a public
restroom,
restroom,
yes, it did.
I believe, because I don't think, the little old house, it wasn't big enough.
No,
for a
it was tiny. Okay.
Did Aunt Lottie and Uncle Elmer came out here also?
Yeah, well, see, we came out here in 1941 on a visit. And Elmer and Lottie brought us out here. In 1941, that was just the beginning of the war.
Okay.
And there was J.E. and Clyde, and Elmer and Lottie, and me and Mama in a 36 Chevrolet. And we carried our cooking things, and we cooked on the road.
Oh my goodness.
That's not
Elmer built a
funny.
little,
We did that.
built a little stand on the back of his car and put everything back there, you know, all of our luggage and everything back there. Well, it was regular Okie style, you know, that's the way we did.
Well, where'd you guys stay overnight?
Yeah,
There was cabins long, like motels were now, but they just have rows of cabins. Maybe there'd be a service station and they'd have a few cabins.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, the towns, you could get rooms in there. I didn't call them motels, but it was cabins, the cabin type deals.
could you tell that that it was a bunch of quote Okies that were all coming out at the same time? I mean, did it look like the Grapes of Wrath?
Well, kind of in a way,
Really?
not quite as bad as it shows in Great Giraffe, but yeah. Now you to tell whether it's a rich Okie or a poor one,
Okay.
rich one had a mattress on top.
And the poor one would what? Not have anything?
He didn't
huh?
have anything.
Okay.
He was lucky to
Oh, no,
get
that's
gas to
funny.
get out here.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Now, what made Uncle Elmer and Aunt Lottie go back?
Yeah, why did they ever? come?
They just wasn't cut out for,
They didn't care for it here.
they didn't like it. None of the kids liked it.
Hmm.
And the kids, J.E. and Clyde was pretty good sized kids when they out here, and they didn't like it. They didn't like it at all.
Hmm.
So they all went back.
Okay, what did Grandpa Tyner work at?
Well, Grandpa Tyner never did work in California.
Oh,
Well, I'll take that back. When we was out here in 41, we stayed about a month. And he worked in a beet dump down at Buttonwell.
a beet,
Beet dump, sugar beet.
sugar beet dump.
Hmm.
It's where they haul them in out of the fields and run them up. A machine takes them, they dump it in a pit, and the conveyors take it up and load it into a freight cart. And him and Eddie and someone else. Oh, Al Woolley was working out over there with them. In fact, they were staying over there in little cabins. Now, they were pitiful. The caddy, it was just big enough for a bed, and you couldn't hardly get around the bed. They're just little bitty things.
Yeah.
And then they had a community bathhouse.
Did any of the Tiners live in a government camp?
No.
No. And I don't think we got your age. Give your birth date.
1/7/27.
Holy
No
mac.
way, that's Robert's birthday. And
What-
mine's January
when's-
the 4th. Oh my gosh.
So you were 5 years behind Daddy,
Yep.
not 4.
Fine.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, 4 part of the time. It was,
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Now, when you went back, you broke up with that other lady, and
well, yeah. She was beautiful. She was one of those Okie beauties. But I met Nelma, and the home situation and everything, and I just figured I'd make a better home with my sweetie that I chose.
All right.
So it's turned out all right.
I'm gonna have to put this on a tripod. You get me giggling too much. You guys are terrible.
I've never heard these
I
stories.
know it.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm trying to think of other things that we wanted to know.
So what was it that Grandpa died from?
Yeah,
He had high blood pressure and kidney problems.
Oh,
Now, nowadays, it would have been no problem, medication would have taken care of all his problems. But they just didn't have the medication, we didn't have the money to go to doctors. I probably wasn't going, well, the most I ever went to the doctor was, I guess, to get the tonsils out. And that's the only time, we didn't go to the doctor. We get a cold or pneumonia or something, we didn't go to the doctor.
yeah.
I never went to the dentist until I went to surgery. Didn't even know they had such thing.
and Grandpa and Grandma are buried in Delano, or am I getting this mixed up?
Delano.
In Delano, okay.
See, they didn't have a funeral graveyard here at that time.
How did Grandma and Grandpa meet, or do you know?
I really don't know. See, Daddy was married twice. His first wife burned to death.
Ooh, oh my goodness.
They were only married for,
I knew this.
about a year or so. And I guess they had made a crop, and they were burning the corn stalks in the field. The stalks were big, you know, and they had to cut them down on the ground, had them on the ground, and they'd set them far, and they'd take a corn cob on a piece of long wire and set that corn cob fire, put kerosene on it, and set that corn cob on fire, and they just walked down that string and just set it afire. And she got her dress or something on fire, and before he could get to her, well, she's already,
Oh,
I guess he was clear across the field.
And they never had any children?
No. And then it wasn't, but about, let's see here.
I need that list.
Don't have that on this paper. But it wasn't but about a couple of years until he married Mama.
Okay, and here, this was in Stonewall?
No, that was in Texas. They were
Oh,
in
in
Texas.
Texas,
in
that's right. But what city in Texas?
It was around Athens, Texas, someplace. It wasn't in Athens, but it was way out in the country.
So how
suburb-
did they
suburb.
wind up in Oklahoma then?
Excuse me?
How did they wind up in Oklahoma?
Well, it would look to be a promising, like I say, it just received statehood, and it looked promising over there. I guess they're getting good news that there was good ground and stuff there to farm in, and so they went. Well, I was going to tell you, their trip, I had Daryl look it up, how far it was from Athens, Texas to Stonewall, Oklahoma. It's 228 miles, I think it was.
Okay.
28 or 38, anyway, quite a ways.
Yeah.
And I figured a horse, you make about 4 miles an hour with a horse and wagon, because they were pulling, pretty good load. So you make about 4 miles an hour. It took them 14 days
Oh,
Oh, my
on
goodness.
the road.
oh my word.
Oh, my goodness.
I had heard something about 14 days. Some of them talking about, that it took 14 days, or I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. And I had Gerald to get the distance, and I figured 4 miles an hour, which was pretty good, pretty average for a horse wagon.
She could have done it in 12 minutes.
But yeah, 14 days on the road.
Oh my.
And that's not really pretty country, across there. I mean, it's Texas and all that. Well, that was up at the top though, wasn't it?
What?
That was northern Texas though, wasn't it? Athens up in there, wasn't it?
And southern. It's out to southeast of Dallas, Athens.
Okay.
It wasn't really pretty. No, it wasn't really pretty country. I didn't think. Now we were going back a few years, well, several years back. Was going back in a car, going to Florida. We went to Oklahoma, Texas, and we started on down to Florida. And you remember the Singletons that used to be here? Patricia Singleton, do you remember
Yeah.
her? Well, she had married a fellow, and they had moved back to Oklahoma. No, Texas. And she always sent us a card every Christmas. And of course the address would be on the card. And we was driving along down the freeway, and there was a sign, and Naomi was reading the sign. She said, read off the little town's name. And she said, well, that's where Patricia Singleton lives. So I remember that, I see that on the card, and I said, well, you want to go over there and see? So it was off the highway a few miles, and we turned around and went back over there and found them. It was just a little small town. Everybody knew everybody.
Oh my.
And we spent the whole afternoon with them, her and husband. It was real neat.
Cool.
But that's the way we traveled. We never had a schedule. We just